Bride's nightmare. My best friend stole my wedding venue. I never imagined my wedding planning would turn into a twisted, backstabbing saga worthy of a daytime drama. I'd envisioned a day of pure bliss, a celebration of love with Connor surrounded by our closest friends and family. Little did I know, the one person I trusted most, my best friend Tessa, would plunge a dagger into my heart and shatter that dream into a million painful pieces. The betrayal cut so deep, I'm still reeling from the shock of it all. Buckle up, because this is a story of stolen dreams, broken trust, and a friendship that imploded in the most spectacular way. My name is Mia Sanders, and this is the story of how my best friend tried to sabotage my wedding. Connor, my fiancé, was my rock, my everything. Our wedding was supposed to be the ultimate symbol of our commitment, a joyful culmination of our journey together. And Tessa, my best friend since high school, seemed almost as excited as I was. She'd been my confidant, my shoulder to cry on, my partner in crime through thick and thin. Naturally, I assumed she'd be my maid of honor, standing by my side as I said I do. One sunny Saturday, we were sipping lattes, our favorite Nashville cafe, a quirky haven filled with mismatched furniture and walls plastered with vintage records and photographs. Tessa leaned across the table, her green eyes sparkling with anticipation. "Have you thought about a venue yet?" she asked. A smile bloomed on my face. "I have. There's this vineyard, Blue Ridge Vineyard in Virginia. I've wanted to get married there for as long as I can remember." Her face lit up. "Oh my God, Mia. That's perfect for you and Connor." She reached across the table and squeezed my hand. "Let me help you plan. Please, I'd really love to." I was touched. "Really, Tessa? I mean, only if you want to." She practically squealed. "Are you kidding me? This is going to be the most beautiful wedding ever. Besides, you know I love planning. I can't wait." Tessa, bless her heart, had a reputation for craving attention, always pushing to get her way. But I chalked it up to her enthusiasm, her way of showing she cared. Tessa was also engaged to Lucas, a nice enough guy, though we hadn't spent much time together since they'd only been dating for about a year. We dove headfirst into wedding planning, bouncing ideas back and forth, scrolling through Pinterest boards together for hours. It felt so good to have her support. We even booked a tour of Blue Ridge Vineyard together. As we strolled through the sun-drenched vines, I remember turning to Tessa, clutching her arm and whispering, "This is it, Tessa. This is where I'm supposed to get married." She squeezed my arm back, a wide grin plastered on her face. But I noticed something strange in her expression, a fleeting flicker of hesitation. "Absolutely, it's like a dream. I can totally see you here." We met with Marie, the vineyard's wedding coordinator, to discuss dates. As we went through the possible options, I settled on September 15th. It just felt right. Everything seemed to be falling into place. "That's funny," Tessa said almost to herself. "Lucas and I were thinking of a full wedding too. Nothing set in stone yet, so don't worry." I laughed, dismissing it. "What? Like a double wedding? Can you imagine?" She'd always had a flair for the dramatic, a tendency to make things more intense than they needed to be. Then, about 2 weeks after our visit to the vineyard, I received a phone call from me. "Hi Mia, I just wanted to double check, are you still planning for September 15th? We just wanted to make sure there were no overlaps." Confused, I replied, "Yes, we're definitely set on the 15th. "What do you mean?" Marie hesitated. "Well, there's another reservation under the name Green. I just wanted to make sure since she mentioned you were close friends and share a last name." The flow vanished beneath me. Tessa, my best friend, had booked the same venue, my dream venue. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was supposed to have dinner with Tessa and Lucas that very night. When I walked into the restaurant, trying to keep my voice steady, I said, "So, Tessa heard you booked the venue." Her face lit up, but there was a nervous energy in her eyes. "Oh yeah, funny story, Lucas and I went with Blue Ridge Vineyard too. I mean, it's gorgeous. Small world, right? Small world," I repeated, feeling my heart pound in my chest. "Tessa, we looked at that place together. You know it was my dream venue." Tessa rolled her eyes, brushing it off as if it were nothing. "Mia, come on. It's not like you own the place. It's a vineyard. It's not exclusive to one person, you know, like a best friend wedding month or something." My jaw dropped. A best friend wedding month? Tessa, this was supposed to be my day. I wanted it to be special, something I had been dreaming of. And you just swooped in and took it. She let out an exasperated sigh. "Oh my God, Mia, it's just a venue. If you're that upset about it, I mean, come on, it's not a big deal." Lucas, bless his heart, looked between us, visibly uncomfortable. "Maybe we should have discussed it with me. I mean, she's right. This was her dream venue." Tessa snapped at him. "Lucas, please. Mia's just being dramatic." I stood up, my voice trembling with anger. "Tessa, you're unbelievable. I thought you were my friend. I thought you wanted me to have a special day. But I see now it was always about you." I stormed out of the restaurant, barely making it to my car before the tears started pouring down my face. How could she do this to me? Connor was waiting at home and I walked through the door, my face a mask of devastation. One look at me was all he needed. He shook his head, disbelief written all over his face. I knew she could be selfish, but this is another level. We're not letting her ruin this for us, Mia. We'll make it our own. With Connor's unwavering support, I threw myself into wedding planning with a vengeance, determined to make our day exactly as I'd envisioned. We worked with the vineyard team to customize every last detail, ensuring it would be uniquely us. Tessa, however, kept calling, sending texts, even showing up at my house with flowers and pastries, all in a pathetic attempt at appearing innocent. At one point, she even laughed, trying to lighten the mood. Mia, stop being like this. We've been friends for years. Are you really going to let something like this come between us? Yes, Tessa, I said, finally snapping. I am going to let it come between us. You betrayed me, and the worst part is, you don't even seem to understand why that hurts. A final straw came when I received a handwritten letter from Tessa's mother, Mrs. Green, asking me to attend Tessa's wedding to show her how much friendship and forgiveness really mean. With a furious cry, I tore it up and threw it in the trash. That woman, who once treated me like a daughter, expected me to just forgive and forget. Then, the big day for Tessa and Lucas arrived. As much as I tried to ignore it, curiosity got the better of me. Later that night, I got a call from a mutual friend, Jen. Mia, I have to tell you it's a disaster. The caterer didn't show up because they accidentally double booked. Oh, and to top it off, her mom made a speech about the importance of forgiveness and learning from mistakes. Jen said, barely containing her laughter. It was so uncomfortable. Everyone was wondering what on earth she was talking about. A slow burn of satisfaction flickered within me. Part of me wanted to feel vindicated, but mostly I just felt sad. This wasn't how I wanted things to go. Did she say anything about us? I asked Jenna quietly. Jenna hesitated. Honestly, I heard her mumbling to someone that she thought you'd show up to her wedding, that she thought you'd forgive her. She was practically expecting you to be there, but I pushed it away. Tessa had made her choices, and those choices had consequences. It was time to let go. A week later, it was finally my wedding day. When I woke up that morning, a strange sense of calm washed over me. Connor and I had poured our hearts and souls into this day, making sure it would be everything we dreamed of. We had created something truly unique, something special. It was finally here, and I was surrounded by the people who truly cared about me. As I walked down the aisle, the sunlight streaming through the stained glass windows, painting the scene in a kaleidoscope of colors, Connor was standing at the altar, his face lighting up the moment he saw me. My heart swelled as I walked toward him, knowing that everything I needed was right there, waiting for me. The ceremony went off without a hitch. The music, the vows, the dancing, it was all a blur of joy and celebration. I was overwhelmed with a profound sense of gratitude. But as I moved through the crowd, greeting friends and family, I caught a glimpse of a familiar figure standing just outside the reception area, partially hidden by the trees. It was Tessa. She was wearing a simple blue dress, her hair pulled back, her eyes red and swollen, as if she'd been crying. For a moment, I felt a mix of anger and pity. Connor noticed her too, his expression darkening. Do you want me to ask her to leave? He asked, his voice tight with protective fury. I took a deep breath, steeling myself. Let me talk to her. I need to do this. I made my way toward her, and she watched me approach, her eyes brimming with regret. As I reached her, she took a shaky breath. Mia, hi. I'm so sorry. I can't believe what I did. I don't even know what I was thinking. I got so caught up in wanting everything to be perfect for me that I didn't realize I was hurting you. I folded my arms. Tessa, you didn't just hurt me. You betrayed me. You knew how much that venue meant to me, and you used it to make my wedding about you. Do you have any idea what that felt like? She wiped a tear from her cheek, nodding. I do, and I wish I could take it back. I thought you'd come to my wedding, Mia. I don't know what I thought. I was selfish, but losing you, it's been awful. I'm so sorry. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I looked down, unsure of what to say. This was the apology I wanted, but I didn't feel the satisfaction I thought I would. Instead, I just felt tired. I can't just pretend everything's okay. Tessa, I said finally, my voice soft but firm. I'm happy for you if you're happy, and I do want the best for you. But I don't know if we can go back to being friends. Not like before. She nodded, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. I understand. I wouldn't forgive me either, honestly. But thank you for at least letting me say this. I know I don't deserve it. Congratulations, Mia. You look beautiful. I gave her a small nod. Thank you, Tessa. With that, she turned and walked away, disappearing into the crowd. I watched her go, feeling a strange sense of closure. It wasn't the ending I'd hoped for, but it was okay. I was okay with that. As the evening wore on, I was surrounded by love and laughter. It was then that I fully appreciated what I still had. Connor, my family, and friends who genuinely cared about us. They were the people who truly mattered. As the night came to an end, Connor wrapped his arms around me. Are you happy? He asked, looking down at me with that same unwavering love in his eyes. I smiled up at him, tears welling in my eyes. Yes, I whispered. I am. His embrace consumed me, washing away the last vestiges of anger and bitterness. Tessa and I didn't speak again after that night, but I heard through the grapevine that she'd moved to a new city and was working on rebuilding her life. I hoped she was finding peace. A year later, I received a letter from Tessa. It was short, just a few paragraphs, but it felt incredibly sincere. She wrote about how she was still working on herself, still trying to understand why she'd done what she'd done. She didn't ask for forgiveness, just understanding. I felt a pang of sadness as I read it, but it was different this time. I didn't feel anger or bitterness. I had finally come to terms with what had happened, finally understood that some friendships aren't meant to last. Some people come into our lives to teach us something, and Tessa had taught me about trust, betrayal, and the importance of valuing the people who genuinely cared about my happiness. I realized that life is about moving forward, letting go of the past, and embracing the future. The letter was sincere, acknowledging her mistakes, and in that dark place. But this letter wasn't asking for a response. She simply wanted to explain. I folded the letter carefully and placed it in the back of a drawer. I'm not sure if I'd ever look at it again. Somehow, and while I still didn't know if I could fully forgive her, I found myself hoping she'd find a way to forgive herself. It was time for us both to heal. I threw myself into my new life with Connor. We started planning little getaways, saving up for a home, talking about our dreams. Our lives settled into a beautiful rhythm. I felt more at peace than I ever had. One rainy afternoon, about a year and a half after my wedding, I ran into Tessa in a little bookstore on the corner of 4th and Maple. I almost didn't recognize her. She was dressed in a way I'd never seen her before. Different, softer. Me a while. It's been a while. Yeah, it has. There was a long, awkward silence. But then she laughed softly. I guess we always said we'd run into each other in some random place, right? I smiled, remembering how we used to talk about growing old as best friends. But life doesn't always work that way. How have you been? I asked, genuinely curious. Better. I moved to Asheville, got a little apartment by myself. It's been good for me. Time to figure things out. I nodded, unsure of what else to say. We were both standing on the edge of a cliff of unspoken words, things left unsaid. But I wasn't sure if either of us was ready to dive. I read your letter, I said finally, my voice soft. Thank you for that. I know it must have taken a lot to write it. Her eyes filled with emotion. I don't expect us to be friends again. I know I hurt you in a way I can't take back, but I just want you to know I really am sorry. And I hope you're happy. You deserve that. For a moment, I felt a pang of nostalgia, a longing for the friendship we once shared. But we'd both changed, both grown in different directions. Thank you, Tessa, I said. I hope you find happiness too. I really do. We stood there a moment longer, both of us knowing that this was goodbye, but a different kind of goodbye. One that came with a sense of peace and understanding. We smiled one last time before she walked away, disappearing into the rain. But maybe it was exactly what I needed. We weren't meant to stay in each other's lives. Back at home, Connor was reading on the couch. Tessa, he asked, looking up. I nodded, smiling as I sat down beside him. Surprisingly okay. I feel free, I guess. Connor took my hand, intertwining his fingers with mine. That's all I have ever wanted for you, Mia. Feeling the warmth of his presence, I knew the past was behind me. It had taught me valuable lessons about love, trust, and uncertainty. And most importantly, it had brought me to where I was meant to be, in the arms of the man I loved, surrounded by the people who filled my life with joy. So, Reddit, after hearing my story, do you think I handled the situation with Tessa correctly? Was I too harsh? Should I have forgiven her sooner? I'm eager to hear your perspectives and insights on this complicated situation. Please share your thoughts. I'm open to all opinions.